Will Marvel's Spider-Man 2 have co-op between Peter Parker and Miles Morales for a two-player experience? Let's talk about it. Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and the prospect of having a co-op multiplayer experience between the two Spider-Men in the game. But before we do get into that, if you are new around here and enjoy all types of Spider-Man content, from news and updates from all of the movies, the games, like Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and the shows, like Spider-Man Freshman Year, and a bunch of other stuff, and also fan fictions on the channel where we continue lost stories, and we do pre-writes, and we do rewrites, and all stuff like that, then make sure to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss a plethora of Spider-Man content if that is your thing, and also make sure to hit the bell so you do not miss another video. But with that being said, let's get straight into the details. This is everything you need to know about Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and the co-op. Now, has the co-op been a talking point of interest when it comes to the devs and stuff? Well, Ryan Schneider, who is the head of franchise strategy and the studio relations at PlayStation, has actually said about the game that we're so thrilled to continue the journey of both Peter Parker and Miles Morales in their most epic single-player adventure yet. While pushing the capabilities of the console will be very exciting, we're equally pumped to craft all new stories for Peter and Miles in this sequel. So while not directly referencing co-op, he does go on to say the most epic single-player adventure yet. While now this does not mean that co-op won't be available, as you could do split screen, I guess, on one console, which would technically still be a single player experience because it's not online, even though it would be co-op, if you know what I mean. I don't think this is very likely, and I do think it's highly unlikely that we are going to be getting any form of co-op, whether it be split screen or multiplayer, on Marvel's Spider-Man 2. And the main reason for this is because I think that the Marvel Spider-Man games are simply just not designed for multiplayer play. The first game definitely was not designed for multiplayer in the same way that the Marvel's Avengers game is designed to do, because you have multiple characters that you can play around with, and yes, we have Peter and Miles, but the first game wasn't designed for that. Spider-Man Miles Morales wasn't designed for that, and I do not think Marvel Spider-Man 2 is in any way, shape, or form going to be designed for that as well. You've also got to understand that Insomniac are looking at a bunch of other stuff in this game that they're potentially probably going to add as well, and multiplayer is definitely not going to be high on that list. I can think of a few things off my head that haven't been confirmed, but are most likely going to be in the game, and one of these things I reckon is probably going to be a map extension of some kind, like adding Brooklyn or adding Queens or adding the Bronx. They're most likely going to expand New York in this game, purely because it is the big sequel. Miles Morales was kind of a spin-off and wasn't really the sequel to Marvel's Spider-Man, even though it technically was a sequel. But I think this game is going to do things bigger and better than both of the first games, and I do think that they're going to expand the map, and it's just going to be things and examples like this that are going to be way higher up on Insomniac's list to add to Marvel's Spider-Man 2 rather than multiplayer, since, like I did say before, Marvel's Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales were not designed to be multiplayer games. However, the benefits of co-op would be cool. You know, you could play with your friends, and I'm sure it'd be really cool to do the campaign with a friend and be able to play as Peter and Miles together. The cons, obviously, like I've been saying, is that they are maximizing the single player experience, and I just think that this game will most likely have separate Peter and Miles missions as well. So even if co-op were to be in play in this game, you know, you'd have to play on your own a bunch of times as well. And obviously, if they make it so that this game is designed for co-op as well as single player, this means that Peter and Miles would have to do missions together all the time. And then this obviously becomes a problem, because then the story developers can't maximize their talent, because then Peter and Miles would have to do every single mission together, in which probably won't happen in the game. You're probably going to get a fair few of missions where Miles is on his own, and a fair few missions where Peter is definitely on his own as well. And then we'll probably get most of them when they're together, but as I did say, there are going to be missions where they're not together, and this would really hinder the co-op experience as well if this was to be a big part of the game. And obviously they're not going to redesign the whole game and redesign all of the levels just for a co-op experience as well. Like I said, that is not a high priority on their list. However, given everything I've said about the co-op and all the cons that it comes with, there is actually a way to do it in Marvel Spider-Man 2 without redesigning the whole game. And the way you do it is literally just have co-op be going around the city in free roam, stopping crimes, stopping the thugs that are going to be in Marvel Spider-Man 2. And if you think that's not enough, you've got to understand that, like we've said before, this is a single player game, And I think you underestimate how much fun you could actually have with another player going around stopping crimes. I think that would be really cool. And you could even have some of the side missions that you complete after the game is done be co-op as well, and also maybe some of the DLCs in the future could be co-op too. So there is ways to do co-op, but I just think that this is a very low priority on Insomniac's list, like I did say before. But should it be co-op? Should, you know, co-op be in this game? Probably not. You know, I've said this a bunch of times now, it's a single player experience. I don't think there's any point of trying to focus on co-op, and if they were to do a co-op game with 2 Spider-Men, or maybe even 3 if, you know, you throw Spider-Gwen in there or Spider-Man 2099, it's a whole different game, and it should be designed for co-op, entirely different from Marvel's Spider-Man. And I think if it's a 2-player Spider-Man game, it should literally just be its own thing. And will they do that in the future? You know what, probably. I don't doubt that there will be a co-op Spider-Man game eventually, where you can play as 3, 4, even 5 Spider-Men. You know, I think that will be a thing in the future, but I don't think it'll be a thing of the Insomniac universe, and if it is, then it'll be something very, very later down the line, potentially when we even have Spider-Gwen or Spider-Man 2099, if, you know, they ever get introduced to the universe. So with that being said, that is pretty much my thoughts on the co-op system that could potentially be in place for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? Do you think co-op will be in the game? Why? And if you don't, then tell me why as well. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you are new around here enjoying all types of Spider-Man content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because you're going to get news from all the games, the movies, and the shows. And also, if you haven't already, then make sure to hit the bell next to the subscribe button to not miss any more content as soon as it gets put up on the channel. You can be one of the first ones to watch the videos. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.